screen. Okay, so what we have done was we have created a material master yesterday. Hi Radhika. Radhika, can you hear me? Okay. So, so we were discussing about the material master. Yesterday I did created a material master with some basic fields data. So we have maintained basic data views. We have maintained something called purchasing view. We have maintained MRP 1, 2, 3, 4 views. Okay. Um, this is how, based on the user requirement, you can maintain the data in the material master. Like I said, so when you try to create the material master data, all right, there are two things which you will be giving in the beginning. As you can see here, there are two means of grouping materials, the highest level by industry sector and the next by material type. Like I said, all your materials, we have already discussed this, all your materials are grouped, or rather I would say divided based on the industry sector to which they belongs to and the material type to which under which they grouped in. So these groupings pre-select what data is required or available for a material master. Like, when you go and create a material master MM01, if you go with this, now basically what you are doing here, you are selecting mechanical engineering or some other industry sector, and let's say based on raw material, for example. Okay, once you go with click, now you see the views. These are dependent on the industry sector and material type. So you need to remember this one, so which we have already discussed it. And then there is something like a material type can control various things. It controls more than 10-12 parameters that we will see it in when we actually go with material master configuration. And then there is something called material enhancements, which is like, let me show you the material master creation. I think we have created one material with the name something as rare wheel tire yesterday. You see, this is what we call it as a material ID. You can have your own format also, that is possible. And also, yesterday we were discussing about the description, the length of the description, which is normally 42 character, but can be extended up to 70 or 72 character. So these are called enhancements. Okay, so maintenance of long text, usability enhancements. Usability enhancement means for whatever requirement or for whatever reasons, if you want to have a new field into the material master, you can add one, right? And material master data maintenance during goods movement, reference handling. So all these things you can do enhancements. Now let's have a look at this screen. This screen will give you a complete picture of material master. You see here in the initial screen, right? When you go with MM01, let me once again show you. I'll go and create one more material. Let's say MM01, right? Yesterday we have created one material, right? This is called rare wheel tire. I wanted to create a new material with reference to the existing material. So instead of rear wheel tire, I would say front wheel tire. Possible, right? So this is what we call it as creating a new material with reference to the existing material. So go with enter. Now let's say remove the sales views. Okay, add purchasing, and then for example general plan data 1 and 2. Okay, MRP, add MRP views also, and then accounting view, something like this. You hit enter. Okay, now you see here in the initial screen, what is that I am selecting? I am selecting the material number in case if it is available, or else you can leave it blank so that number will be generated internally by the system. Industry sector and material type. In case if you have any reference material, you give it, and then once you enter it, you will see what views are required for this material based on the industry sector and the material type. So once you give the data, you will be selecting the views, like that's what I did it. Once I go and select the views, I will have to give the organizational levels. You see here, you have to give the organizational levels. That is nothing but 77C 0002. Now you see here, you are copying an existing material and creating a new material. From which plant would you like to copy? 777C. From which storage location you would like to copy? 0002. Right? Now you see, copy from his Chennai plant, storage location 0002, and then this front wheel tire is getting created in Chennai plant 0001, storage location. Say hit enter. Now you see, after selecting the organizational views, it will actually go into data screens. You see here, there is a small difference between selecting views and data screens. Here, whatever views that you have selected, you will be entering data into these views at organizational level, right? So here, because you have given reference, so therefore you need not have to maintain anything. The fields which are maintained in the rear wheel, those fields data will come and get updated into the respective fields of the front wheel tire material. Okay, so just go ahead, move ahead like this. Purchasing value key, GR processing time, we discussed about all these things. Now let me help you enter material requirement planning data. Yesterday here, because of not having enough time, I have given ND, that is no planning. Now let me go and give proper data here and explain you the importance of various fields in the material requirement planning. It means the fields relevant for planning purpose in the material master. You have got different plans for the material. For example, the material that you are creating now, if it is a production critical material, that means what? If the material stock is not available, production comes to halt. Such materials are called production critical materials. If it is a production critical material, you should be using a plan type, that is MRP type, called master production schedule. Okay, these are the ones. MPS means master production schedule. If it is not a production critical material, if it is not an A class material, but is B and C class material, for which you use MRP, that is CBP, consumption based planning, which we do it in MM module. Okay, for the CBP we use two types of plans. What we call it as manual reorder point planning and automatic reorder point planning. So manual reorder point planning is VB, automatic reorder point planning is actually V1. Somebody has changed the description of it, but it's actually V1. Okay, so let me go with V1. There is also one more thing called forecast based planning. In case if you want to use it, we use that one also. That we will discuss it in MRP. So time being, I am using manual reorder point plan. So your MRP type, which specifies which plan type are you going to use while planning of this material, right? Then who should plan this material requirement? Somebody should take care of the planning of this material or all the plants in a particular plant. That is called MRP controller. What we call it as plant in charge. Ideally, this MRP controller is plant in charge. Okay, I'll come to this point. Now you see here, specify the reorder point for the reorder point planning. Because here I have chosen MRP type as the manual reorder point planning. It is asking you, boss, what is your reorder level? Means at what level of stock Would you like to go for order again? I have to specify. So let me put it as something like 50 is my reorder level. Enter. Now you see it is asking, okay, at stock 50, when the stock is falling up to 50, then you need to raise a new order. That is fine. But who will raise? Who is the in charge for planning this material? Ideally, plant in charge. So therefore, the field relevant for plant in charge is called MRP controller. So you will be specifying an MRP controller here. Okay, so time being, I'm choosing the one which is available here. But otherwise, we will go and create our own MRP controller when we work with MRP chapter. Right? Hit enter. Now, see here, MRP type you have specified as manual reorder point planning, and you did stated like, when the stock comes to 50, then you will be raising the order. Okay, fine, no problem, you raise the order. But you raise the order for which quantity? How much quantity when you are going to order? So you have to specify. That is called lot size. There are different types of lot sizing techniques are possible. Again, we will discuss them in MRP chapter. There is something called fixed lot size or static lot size, dynamic lot size, optimal lot size. Okay, like this we have got different lot sizing techniques. Those things we will discuss it in MRP. For time being, I am going to choose something called HB. Means what? Replenish to maximum stock level. That means what? Whenever my stock level comes to 50, at that point of time, when I raise an order, the stock that is, the quantity that is going to be entered in the purchase requisition would be what is the maximum stock capacity of your stores or warehouse. That will be the one which will be picked up by the system. So here, lot size I am giving HB, that means replenish up to maximum stock. When I use HB, replenish up to maximum stock, then the system is again asking you, what is your maximum stock level? I would say 500. It means my storage location capacity is 500. So I will put it as maximum stock as 500. Done? Okay. Now when you are in MRP2 view, look at here, there is something called GR processing time, which will automatically get defaulted for the plant parameters maintained for MRP. Again, we will discuss how these things are getting defaulted into your material during MRP chapter. Now, how much time does the vendors of this material requires to supply this material? I would say 7 days. Okay. There is one more thing called schedule margin key. This schedule margin key defines the floats. Okay. There is something called float before something called opening period, float before production, float after production, and there is something called release date. So all these 4 floats will be defined by the schedule margin key. This is not a mandatory field. In case if you want to give, you can give it, or else you can skip it also. Okay. You see here, what is opening period? I'll just give you an explanation. The number of working days between the date that the order is created and the planned start date. The time is available for MRP controller to convert the planned order into a purchase requisition or a production order. Okay, let me tell you from the MM perspective. For example, I have got a material, okay, which can be either procured from internally or can be procured from externally. I am talking about procurement type indicator X, means both. Okay, this one. So if the procurement type indicator is X, that means what? This material can be either procured externally or produced in-house. In such cases, when you run MRP for that material, system creates a planned order. Okay, planned order with quantity that you have specified in this particular MRP1 view, which is about quantity 500. Right? What do you mean by planned order? You will be either converting that into a purchase requisition, provided if you wanted to go with external procurement, or if your other plant is ready for manufacturing the tires, you can get it manufactured in the other plant of yours. So that becomes in-house production. So the opening period means it's nothing but the time that is required or the time that is available for MRP controller to convert a planned order into purchase requisition. That is for the external procurement. In case of in-house production, planned order will be converted into production order. So what is the time lag between the start date of the requisition minus planned order creation date in case of external procurement? Or in case of in-house production, production start date and the planned order creation date. That lag is called as opening period. That is the cushion time available for the MRP controller. Clear? So this is what we call it as opening period. This will be defined in the what we call the schedule margin key, which is available in MRP2 view. Okay, and also there is something called float before production. Okay, there is something called float before production. So what do you mean by float before production? This float after production and before production, as you can see here, it is only meant for in-house production, not for external procurement, not for MM module. It's only meant for in-house production materials. So what do you mean by float before production? Look at here. The number of working days between the order start date and the scheduled start date, used as a float in production schedule. I will tell you one example. It's the difference between the actual production date and the scheduled production date. That is called as float before production. For example, let me put it this way. I wish to start my construction of my own house. Say, I wish to start, that's the reason I'm telling you, I wish to start my own house construction, say by June 15th, let's say. Okay, June 15th is the scheduled start date. But am I starting it on June 15th? Maybe not. It may get delayed by a week. Actually, assume it I will start by June 21st. So therefore, the number of days between the actual start date and the scheduled start date. Scheduled means planned start date. That difference of dates is called as float before production. Clear? Any questions, Andy?
No, sir.
Let me tell you, there is something called float after production. Again, this is for the production order. There is something called actual production completion date and the scheduled production completion date. I might expected to complete my house construction in about 3 months. Let's say June 15th, starting scheduled start date, July 15th, August 15th, and September 15th. By September 15th, I wish to complete my house construction project. But am I going to complete it? If yes, how soon or how much later? Let's assume it got delayed by 2 weeks. So means by end of September, I will be completing my actual completion. So it means those 2 weeks, end of September, that is 30th September, to the scheduled finish date, which is 15th of September. Those 15 days are called float after production, right? So this is called float after production. Then there is something called release period. What do you mean by release period? Again, this is only in case of production order, means in-house production. Look at this. The number of working days between the plant start date of the production order and the date of releasing the order. In other way, if I have to say, once you manufacture a product, you keep that product in your finished godown for some time before it is shipped to the customer. So the number of days between the actual shipping date and the date on which it is completed, that is after production, you keep the product into the finished godown, right? So those days is called as release period or release uh, this thing. So this is how it is being. All these four parameters will be set by the SMK, schedule margin key. Majority of the times we don't use it in MM, as you would have seen. It's only meant for in-house production. So therefore you need not have to use this one, or you just simply go with 000 so that nothing will be added over here. Then apart from this, you see, in case if you want to specify what is the safety stock, say 30, minimum safety stock, let's say 15, means at any moment the stock should not be less than 15. Safety stock, you can consume the quantity from the safety stock, but you should not try consuming the stock from the minimum safety stock. So that's the reason people do keep minimum safety stock. Okay, and then MRP3. So in MRP3, if you want to use, you can use certain parameters, right? And then there is one more thing called MRP4 view, where this is only meant for what we call it as repetitive manufacturing industries. Otherwise, for non-repetitive manufacturing industries, you need not have to specify anything over here, right? Then general plant data storage 1 and storage 2 views. You have already maintained some data which you can use it here, right? And then in the accounting view, which is not maintained for my yesterday's material, that is rare and wheel. Now accounting view, here also there are three fields which are important from the MM module perspective. To start with, there is something called valuation class. Okay, this one. Okay, so you have to specify what is the valuation class. Valuation class is one of the 5 parameters which will determine which account will be updated automatically upon doing goods receipts or goods issues for this material. Okay, so therefore you have to give valuation class. So let me choose some valuation class as something called 3000. Then there is something called price control indicator. You have to specify the price control indicator for material. There are two types of price control indicators are possible. One is called standard price. Second one is called moving average price. Can somebody explain me, Pavitra, Radhika? You said like you deal with material masters. Can you please explain me what is the significance of price control? Yes, and what is the significance of price control V? I keep asking questions. Please don't get offended. This is only meant for making you not to sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah, tell me why do we require price control and what is its significance? I'm not getting any responses, Sandy. Are you first of all? I'm sorry. I hardly hear anything from you.
I have no idea about price control.
Okay, let me tell you. Price control S means standard price. It means irrespective of the price that you enter in the purchase order, the value that will be updated in the general ledger account at the time of receipt of this material is always the standard price that is maintained in the material master. We will discuss more about this when we work with goods receipts. And of course, what we call it as a valuation and account determination. And the second one is price control V. It means, you see, for same material, you may procure it today for example, one tire equals to 3,500. Maybe tomorrow it is 3,600. Day after it could be 3,400. So it means what? The price of the material keep varying depending upon the market fluctuations. It means there are certain things whose price you cannot control it. Such prices are called moving average prices. It means what? The material that you procure from external vendors, you cannot control the price, right? So therefore, today the price of the material in PO is 10 rupees, tomorrow it could be 10 rupee 50 paise, day after it could be 9 rupee 50 paise, provided if the price of the material is decreased drastically. So when you do goods receipt or goods issue for such materials, the price will be taken from the PO, not from the standard price which is maintained in the material master, right? So that's how it will get varied. So this rear wheel tire, front wheel tire, because it is a material of raw material type, I can go with raw material price control indicator as V. So therefore the price, can I put it as 5,000 rupees as the price? Okay, and then hit enter. In the accounting view, there will be something called LIFO and FIFO indicator, which are basically meant for, again, year-end, month-end account postings, which we don't bother from the MM perspective. So I go and simply click enter. Therefore, you could see here, you are about to exit. Do you want to save your data? I would say yes. So therefore, another material, this time front wheel tire, will be created. Okay? నాకు అక్కర్లేదమ్మా ఇవాళ వద్దు రేపు నేను ఉన్నాను బయటకు వెళ్తాను అందుకే అవుతాను మండే ట్యూస్డే ఇప్పుడు లేదు వద్దాను నేను క్లాస్లో ఉన్నాను మళ్ళీ తర్వాత క్లాస్లో ఉన్నానమ్మా నేను ఇప్పుడు కాదు తర్వాత లేదు నాకు వద్దులే వెళ్ళి తర్వాత తీసుకుంటాను I'm sorry. So, so this is how you create a material, right? So first we have created yesterday without referring anything. Today we have created a material with reference to the existing material. Similarly, if you want to make a change, you can go and change certain data in the material master. How? There's a transaction code for that, which is MM02. Either you can simply go with change immediately, like this, front wheel tire. What would you like to change? For example, I wanted to change purchasing data maintained in the purchasing view. As you could see here, purchasing data is maintained at plant level. So therefore it is plant is asking. So what is that you wanted to change? For example, I wanted to change the purchasing group. Okay, you could say instead of 0001, I can go with 0001, right? And then save it. So this is what we call it as changing material master data. Sorry, Pavitra.
So can we change description? Can we change the description?
Sure. Look at here. This is for a small car and SUV as well. If you want it like this, you can do so.
change it to front wheel. It is showing rear wheel.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. You save it. Right? So these changes are called change immediately. You can also schedule changes. What do you mean by schedule changes? I wanted this change to be effective from so and so date, futuristic date. That is also possible, right? So that is called change, scheduling the changes, right? So you can go, you see here, change, schedule, right? So you can schedule it like this. Transaction code is MM12, right? Scheduled change scheduled for which date? Let's say Monday. Effective Monday, I wanted something to be changed. What is Monday's date? 28. Okay. Now you hit enter. What would you like to change? For example, purchasing. Okay. Go. What is that you wanted to change? For example, you see here purchasing value key. I wanted to change, instead of 1, I wanted to have it as Z1. Okay. Something like this. Right. Now you go and save it. Okay. Now you see data will be scheduled for 28 of 05. Right. So once this date comes, you have to activate those changes. If you go and see display of material, you still see what is that? The same old data, you would see it. You see here, it's still 1. So in case if you want to activate it, come that date. Now you see here, change, activate. Okay. Which material? Is it front wheel or rear wheel? What did we have done it? Front wheel.
Front wheel.
Okay. Front star F4. Okay. Implant 777C. So this is my material ID. Front wheel underscore tire. Okay. Can you just give me a moment? That's okay. Activate from, if you want to specify from which date, you can specify. Let's say even back dates. From this date to this date. Keep usernames. If you go with test mode, the changes will not get activated. So you have to remove the test mode and then go with execute. Okay, so take this out. It says usernames can be kept only with processing block size of 1. One block size means only for one material. So it's not possible to go with ranges. So now you go with this one, activate or execute. So therefore, oh, I'm sorry. No scheduled changes exist for 25. I think we have given 2 date as 25, but what we have done was 28 is the date from which our changes should get activated, right?
Yes.
So therefore, you have to give the 2 date. Okay, so I'm sorry, I have given the today's date. So now if you go and activate it, now you see front wheel D081 is the number, change number what we call. If you double click it or select it, go with the details, this will tell you. Okay, this is the change number. Now if you can go back MM03 front wheel purchasing. Okay, you could see here. Okay, because you have activated now. So therefore, ideally what we do is this activation program. Okay, this activation program, change activate, this MM13 program, this MMCHACTV, this program we schedule it to run it in the background. How? You see here, activation 2 will always be a system date, today's date or tomorrow's date. Whenever you run this program, we maintain it such a way that the activate to date will always be system date, right? And then you see here there is something called execute in the background. So we try to schedule the program. LP01 is the local printer. So when we go with it, that's okay. Now you see here date and time you can specify. After job, after event, like this. If you go with this one, date and time, you specify scheduled start date. Or if you want to go with immediate, you can go with immediate. Or if you want to go with periodic job. So what is the period? Okay. So what is the period you wanted to go with it? Select the period, go with period values. So here I will go with daily, right? Check and save it. And then okay, if you want to specify the time and period, you can specify scheduled start date as, for example, today. What is the period? Morning 7 o'clock. Okay. Okay. That's it. When you check it, and then start date is in the past. Okay. Why start date is in the past? Let me put it as 26th. Okay. Check it. Save it. Now you see, so every day morning 7 o'clock this program will run. It looks for any changes which needs to be activated, any schedule changes which needs to be activated. Based on that it activates it, and accordingly that change will be activated for the all the users, right? So this is how you can do it. Now you see here I can also show you there is something called changes. Come on. Back. MM03 front wheel. I think we changed in the purchasing view. Now you see you change purchasing group. If you want to see any changes made for this purchasing group, environment, display changes. Okay, you could see here it's been created on 25th by user Lakshmi using transaction MM02. It's been changed on this date, MM02. It's also been changed on this date. Okay, and then it is also changed on this date with MM13. So if you double click this, the first one, you could see these are the data that is entered. If you go with the second one, what change has been made here? If you click it here, you see here old value 000 purchasing group, new value 000 001. That's the change which I have done. And then on the same day, if you look at it, the description. Okay, this is also been changed, right? And look at here, purchasing value key. Okay, so this is how you can see the changes made in the, like this you can go and check it. Okay, so that's how you will be seeing the changes. Okay, and then we have discussed about various units of measures in the yesterday's class itself. Where is my file? SAP MM at the rate 10. That's the file. Okay, this is the one. Okay, you see here at the unit of measure, I did specify basic unit of measure, order unit, sales unit, issue unit, and stock keeping unit. So here you could see here these are various units which you can work with. Base unit of measure, in this case you see can. Issue unit, you issue it in terms of packs. Order unit, you issue it, you order it in terms of cases. Okay, sales unit, you you sell the units in the form of pallets. Okay, so if you can look at it, can is the base unit of measure, individual can or packet, and then pack equals to 6 cans. Similarly, one case equals to, it could be 6 or maybe 5 packs. One pallet equals to how many? 3 plus 3 6, 6 plus 6 12. So 12 cases equals to one pallet. You getting my point? So this is how you can group various units, and these are various units possible. Base unit of measure is the unit in which the material is being measured. Unit of issue or issue unit is the one in which you issue the material to the production shop floor. Order unit is the one in which you order the material from the supplier. Sales unit is the one in which you sell the product to the customer, and stock keeping unit is the unit in which you receive the material when it is delivered from the vendor, right? So these are different units of measures, right? So in the data maintenance accounting view, we have discussed about price control indicator, valuation class also. Now you see here price control indicators S and V, we have discussed it. The material master price is controlled within the company, that is price is standard. So whether you buy it for 10 rupees or 11 rupees or 12 rupees, provided if the material master's price control indicator is yes, the standard price will never change. The material will always be valuated at the standard price. And but are you getting the price for the same are you getting the material for the same price? No, you might be paying less or you might be paying more to the vendor. The differential amount, that is the actual price versus the material master price entered, the differential amount will go to something called profit loss account, that is at the time of goods receipt or invoice receipt. Whereas in case of moving average price, the material price will be adjusted based on the price at which you procure. Okay, so that's the basic difference between standard price and material master price. Now, assistance in material master, this is what we were doing. You see here, I've just created a material with reference to the existing material, and then I did change the material. I did schedule the changes of material. Okay, and then there is something called extend for missing views. Let me show you that one. Yesterday, I have created a material. Which material? Rear end wheel. Let me show you. The transaction code is MM50. I'll go to material master. You see here all the material master transaction codes are available here. Okay. Okay. Look at here. MM50. Extend material master views. Yesterday when I created the material rear wheel material, I did not maintain accounting view. Right? In fact, Sundarao garu, you have asked me about that also. Purposefully, I said I have not maintained it. Why? At the time of creating Material Master, the accounting department did not give me any information which is supposed to be entered for that material from the accounting perspective. So I did not have that information, so I have not maintained it. Now after 2 days or 5 days, they come with an information they wanted to update the Material Master. No problem, I can do that. Such kind of activity is called as extending the same material with the views which are not maintained. So now what is your plant? I wanted to 777 C is your plant. I wanted to find out the material which is being created in that plant. So I'll just go and pick it. So this is my material, right? Now you see there is something called maintenance status. Here you need to remember these status indicators. Okay, so the indicators such as A, B, C, D, E, F, G, K, L, etc. I will explain you how to remember these indicators while we work with the material master configuration. Time being, you see, if you remember it, you can directly enter the value something like B here. Because at this moment you do not know what is the maintenance status per accounting view, you select accounting view like this and then go with execute. What happens if I do not know the indicator for the accounting view? You just go and execute. Okay, now you see here these are the views which are not maintained. What is this view A? What is this view B? So these are the views which are not yet maintained for this material. Okay, like this, for example, you see indicator B, which is meant for me, for my understanding, I understand B stands for business. Accounting team is the one which do business, so therefore B means accounting view. So I select this one, go with maintain materials. Now you see accounting 1 and accounting 2 views, both views are open for edit option. So now you maintain what is the valuation class for this material. Rear wheel tire 7900 something like that, and then price control is yes because this is a semi-finished material. Rear wheel tire will cost me more, for example 6,000. I'm sorry, not in moving average price. You have to specify 6,000 here and hit enter. Therefore, now you see this is being created. Once you go back here, if you want to give once again the same thing, now this time B will not come. Why? B is already maintained. So this is called as extending the material master views. Means existing material, you will be adding another view for the material, right? So this is how you will be doing this one, extending material master views. So like this you can have as many things as possible. I will show you one more thing. This is called mass maintenance. Any question from anybody?
No, sir.
Radhika, Lakshmi, Pavitra, or Sudhakar garu, either.
Sir,
No.
Yep, tell me.
sir, we have created the material number manually. So how can we create a material number automatic generated by SAP system?
I'll show you that one. Okay. Now let me go and create a new material for your to answer your query. MM01. Now you see here this time I am not entering anything in the material master. I'll choose material type. Once again, maybe raw material. Where is the standard material? something like this, hit enter. Now you see, these are the views which system has selected. I don't want them. I will be choosing the ones which I wanted. Okay. Now, after selecting this given classification, I don't want for time. Now you see, material master field is blank. Okay. I'll go with enter. In which storage location do I want to create? In 0001. Make it as default and then save it. Now you see, is the material number generated automatically and internally by the system? Isn't it? Pavitra,
Sir.
yeah, can you see the material number?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Okay. So like this, you can create another material purchasing group. Let me give some group. Okay, 002. Purchasing value key. Let me pick up something. Okay, I'll just go and cancel. Why accounting view was not selected? Did I not selected accounting view? Valuation class 3000 and connecting rod. Let me put it as 2500, something like this. Okay. Now you could see that's the material number which will be created automatically. Now let me show you. Let's say I've got three materials. I wanted to change the purchasing group for all the three materials together. How do I do that? Right? There is something called mass maintenance,
Mass maintenance.
MM17. Yeah. So you go with mass maintenance. Okay, it says in mass maintenance you must decide which tables of an object type are to be changed, etc., etc. You just say okay. Now you see your material master data is saved in how many tables? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 and 12. There are dozen tables in which the material master data got separated while it is getting saved. So if you look into all these tables, you will have your material master data. The three materials that you have created, those three materials, information will be available in all these 12 tables. Now, what did I say? I wanted to change the purchasing group for all the materials in my plant 777C. Right? So now these are the tables. If you go into fields, you would see the fields also for all the tables. There will be more than 925, 940 fields available in the material master. So it will list all those fields here. Okay. Now let's see here how many are there. 441. Okay. Out of this, you need to find out which field would you like to change. I said purchasing group, this field. You should be knowing the technical name of the field. How do you know technical name? Keep the cursor in the field and then press F1, function key 1. So this window will get open. Once you are in this window, you see there is this panel, technical information. You click on this. This will give you what is the screen field name. You see here, MARCEKGRP. This is the first four characters are the table name, and then this EKGRP is the field name. So MARC underscore EKGRP is my table field. So once you know the table field, you come to this mass maintenance transaction, MM17. Now you see here there are binoculars. You go with find. You copy and paste, or you paste the field that you have copied. Hit enter. Do you see purchasing group? You select this, go with execute. Again some message, you click it here. Now if you remember the number of materials that you wanted to change, you can enter the material number from here to here, that is from 1 to, or if you have list of material numbers, you click on this arrow icon so that you can enter all the material numbers that you may have. But I wanted all the materials created in my Chennai plant. So what's your plant? 777C. So if you give plant and go with execute, system is going to bring all the materials created under plant 77C. So that's what my intention is. So I'll just go and execute. Now you see there are 3 materials. First material connecting rod, second material front wheel tire, third material rear wheel tire. Okay. So with all these 3 materials, you see there is a purchasing group available here. Purchasing group 002, 001, 000. Now I wanted to change everything together. With which which field value? You specify the field value, something like 004. Right? Now you see this is new value, these are the old values available. Now you go with new value here and then go with something called carry out mass change. You click on this icon. Now you see when I go with click this icon, all my 3 records in the below table will get updated.
Changed.
You see here changed, and then you save it. Okay, when it is changed, you would see a green bulb status saying that so and so records got changed. Now you could see there 200001149 material has been messages have been issued. Similarly, front wheel tire changed. When it is changed, you would see it in a green color, green light means go, okay, that's the meaning. Similarly, now back, if you go and have a look at material master, see this has been now changed to 004, right? Just go and display once again. Right? You see here, this got changed. So this is how you can go and carry out mass changes for vendor, for material, for purchase requisition, for purchase order, whatnot, GL accounts, so on and so forth. Right? Any questions on mass changes?
Sir,
Yes, Pavitra.
I have a question. While Material Master automatically created and it has been displayed some around 10-digit number. Can we give when the Material Master created automatically, I just need only 6-digit number. Can we give like that?
Why not? You can.
We can specify it.
You can, provided if you set up the number range with 6 character length, which I am going to show you next class, that is Material Master configurations. See, the one that I am doing today is an end user activity. Probably you might be doing it in your job, or maybe somebody from the master data team might be doing it. The next class which I will be doing it is a configuration work, that is a pure functional consultant role.
Okay. And also, for some material types like raw materials, I want it the number should be alphanumeric, and for some material types I need only numeric. That also we can give, right?
Possible. But how are the materials are identified or displayed, the material numbers in DuPont? Is it alphanumerics or alphabets or only numerics?
It's like for raw materials, all the raw materials, it will be like alphanumeric. For MRO material groups, it will be numeric. So that is what I want to know. So can we specify if the material type is MRO, the auto generated material group should be numeric, and if it is a raw material, it's a packaging, it should be alphanumeric. Can you specify that?
Pretty much possible, Pavitra, which we will see in the next class.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Anything else?
Sir, here we have changed the purchasing group for all the materials that we have created.
Right.
The purchasing group, ideally for us, it means that is the group wherein we release the purchase order. So is it the same thing here as well? That 001 is
Exactly.
applicable only for a particular user who would release a purchase order?
Correct. This material needs to be procured by that particular buyer, having that purchasing group 001 or 004.
So is it restricted to that particular buyer?
It's not restricted. This is default value. You can change it at the time of PO or PR creation.
Okay.
This is default value. By default it will come, but user will have a flexibility to overwrite it.
The end user will have the flexibility.
Exactly.
Buyer will have the flexibility.
So will we be designing that as well?
Yeah.
For example?
Yeah, we will do that one. Yes. We are still in the very, very beginning stage, Lakshmi. So we are just preparing ourselves to do transactions. We have not yet started doing any transaction. So what you are asking is the queries from the transactional level. We are still in the master data. So we will be covering that one as well.
Okay, sir.
Right. There is something called change material type. This will be possible only if there is no stock for a specific material for which you wanted to change the material type. Right? So far I have created 3 materials. I did not raise any purchase orders. I did not receive any material also. Therefore, I can change the material type for the material. For example, front wheel, something we have created, right? This material I did not procure. I did not receive any quantity. Therefore, I can change it. Had there been a stock available for this material, then that is a problem. You cannot change the material type. Why? Because there is a stock available, it means there is some value available in the GL accounts. How can I change those GL accounts? Because GL accounts are automatically determined by the system based on the valuation class. Valuation class is actually based on the material type. So therefore, for all the materials for which there is stock available, you cannot change material type. This is interview question as well as certification question. For those materials having stock available, you cannot change material type. For those materials, when there is no stock, absolute 0, you can change the material type. Now you see this front tire. Is it front tire? No, it's a rear tire. Yesterday the one that we have created is a rear tire. Rear one, right? Okay. This one. This material, if you look at it, I'll just display this material. What is this type of this material? It's a semi-finished material, if I remember correctly, isn't it? This is what we have created. Semi-finished product, right? Now if I want it, I can convert this into raw material. How? because there is no stock here. Had there been a stock, I will not be able to do that. So now there's absolute zero. I could simply go with raw material. Now you see, old material is semi-finished, new material, raw material. I'll just go and make a change. You are changing the material type from semi-finished to raw material. Yes, I wanted to. Now you see, it is asking, check whether for the new material type ROH, the valuation classes proposed are correct. For the new material type, system is asking, valuation class, I am taking this one. Are you okay with it? Say okay. Now you see,
excuse me, sir.
material type changed successfully. Yes, sir. Sundarrao garu cheppandi.
టైం టు టైమ్ ది డిస్క్రిప్షన్ మెటీరియల్ టైప్ చేంజ్ చేసుకుంటే కన్జంప్షన్ డేటా మంత్ ఎండింగ్ తీసేటప్పుడు దాంట్లో వేరియేషన్ ఎట్లా కనబడుతుంది?
లేదండి, మీ ఎగ్జంప్షన్ తప్పు. టైం టు టైం మెటీరియల్ టైప్ చేంజ్ చేసుకోకూడదు. ఎందుకు చేసుకోకూడదండి? టైం టు టైం ఎట్లా చేంజ్ చేస్తారు? వాట్ ఐ సెడ్, స్టాక్ కనుక మీ ఈ పర్టికులర్ మెటీరియల్కి ఆల్రెడీ స్టాక్ ఉంటే మీకు చేంజ్ చేయనివ్వదు. సో టైం టు టైమ్ మెటీరియల్ టైప్ని చేంజ్ చేయడం అనేది రూల్డ్ అవుట్. నో వేర్ ఇన్ ద వరల్డ్ టేక్స్ ప్లేస్. Raw material will always be a raw material, provided if there is a stock. In case if you want to change the material type, ensure that the stock quantity available in the stock is zero. Absolute zero ఉంటేనే పాసిబుల్ అవుతుంది, లేకపోతే కాదు. దానికి మళ్ళీ ఓపెన్ పిఓస్ ఉండకూడదు. You understand what is open PO, right? A PO which is raised to the supplier but yet to be received, yet to be delivered. అవి కూడా ఉండకూడదు. No open POs, no open deliveries, no stock, absolute zero. ఫ్రెష్ మెటీరియల్ అయితే మార్చచ్చు, కాకుంటే మార్చలేదు.
ఓకే సార్.
Any other question from anybody? Sudhakar or Sridhar? All right.
No question will get from my side.
Okay. Thank you. Now you see
Sorry,
here. Yes, Sudhakar. Yes, sir.
Yeah, actually I kept mute and I was talking without realizing.
Yeah.
Fine. What I was trying to say is, if the stock level is, let's assume the material is already created, there is a stock available,
Okay.
and you're trying to change by looking at stock balance zero.
Hmm.
What happens to the accounting data where there is a history of records which are of that material type, say A, you're changing to material type B when the stock balance is zero?
Okay. So if I understand, if I understand your question, assume it there is a material which has already been issued. మీరు అంటున్నారు already been issued. Okay. Now the current stock is zero.
Yeah.
So because it is current stock zero, from now onwards it will be posted into different accounts. Whatever has been posted, it was already posted. Okay. So because its current stock level is zero, like I said, no open POs, no open deliveries, no open invoices. అట్లా ఉంటేనే ఇది చేయగలరండి, లేకపోతే చేయలేరు.
ఓకే సార్.
Okay.
బట్ దిస్ కన్జంప్షన్ డేటా ఎలా చూపిస్తుందండి పర్టికులర్ ఐటమ్కి? అది స్టేటస్ ఎలా చూపిస్తుందండి?
కన్జంప్షన్ స్టేటస్ ఎందుకు చూపిస్తుందండి? ఇప్పుడు దీనికి ఏం లేదు కదా. లెట్ మీ షో యూ నౌ. MM03 rare wheel. Okay, I'll just go right. Additional data లోకి వెళ్తే మీరు you have something called consumption ఉంటుంది. చూడండి ఇక్కడ ఈ పీరియడ్ అంటే 5th of 2012 అంటే నథింగ్ బట్ మే 2012. ఏమైనా కన్సంప్షన్ ఉందా? ఏమీ లేదు. 4th of April 2012 ఏమైనా కన్సంప్షన్ ఉందా? ఏమీ లేదు. ఒకవేళ ఉండుంటే ఇక్కడ చూపిస్తుంది ఈ మెటీరియల్ కన్స్యూమ్ అయింది అని. అప్పుడు ఏం చేయాలి మీరు? మెటీరియల్ తీసుకుని ఆ మెటీరియల్ కి ఏమేమి మెటీరియల్ డాక్యుమెంట్స్ ఉన్నాయో అంటే బేసికల్గా if you change the material type frequently, there is bound to be accounting problems. Year end, month end activities ఉంటాయండి అకౌంటింగ్ లో, వాళ్ళకి ప్రాబ్లమ్స్ వస్తాయి. అరే ఈ అకౌంట్ లో లాస్ట్ మంత్ ఈ అకౌంట్ లో పోస్ట్ అయింది, ఈ మెటీరియల్ ఇప్పుడు వేరే అకౌంట్ లో పోస్ట్ అవుతుంది ఏంటని, దెన్ దే విల్ హ్యావ్, ఇన్ కేస్ if there is any amount which is uncleared, then they will have a problem. In such cases, they go and search what you call the postings, account postings based on material type. అవి అకౌంటింగ్ లో ఉంటాయండి. సో అట్లా వెళ్ళి ఈ మెటీరియల్ ఇంకెక్కడెక్కడ పోస్ట్ అయింది, ఎక్కడెక్కడ ఇంబ్యాలెన్సెస్ ఉన్నాయి, అవన్నీ తీసుకుని వాళ్ళు దే హావ్ టు మాన్యువల్లీ అడ్జస్ట్ ఇట్. దాట్స్ ద రీజన్ యూ విల్ నాట్ బి డూయింగ్ దిస్ వెరీ ఫ్రీక్వెంట్లీ. Once in a while, once in a blue moon time, you will do it, not regularly.
ఓకే సార్.
Okay, so next thing is we do have some more things in the material master. Okay, we have seen create, change, we have seen there is something called deletion. Okay, so we have seen change the material master, you have seen. Let's say now you have a material which you have been using for past 1 year, 10 years, not a problem. For whatever reasons, there is a material which is available in the market which is more advanced than the one that you are using. Now what you wanted to do, you wanted not to use the material which has been using for the past 1 year or 5 years or 10 years. It means what? This is an outdated, obsolete material which you do not want to use. For such materials, you can say, you cannot actually delete the material from the table, but you can say that do not use this material. For that, you have to set the blocking indicator, right? You see here, flag for deletion, you just go with MM06. For example, this is your material, this is your storage location, 0002, you hit enter. Right? Now you see there is an option here to set the flag at what level, plant level or storage location level. Or if you set at this level, it means if somebody try to purchase this material, rear wheel tire, or if somebody try to issue this material from the stock, it will give you this material is flagged for deletion, please choose some other material. You getting my point?
Yes.
Okay, so this is how you should control it. If you do not want to use it, set the indicator. Right? Now I'll just show you. I've just set the indicator, right? So let me go and create a purchase requisition for you so that you will understand it. Come on, material type /NME51N. I'll just quickly try to create a purchase requisition and show you the message so that you remember how this will be worked. What is that material? Rear wheel tire. How much quantity? For example, 10. What is your plant? 77C. Hit enter. Now you see here, material rear wheel underscore tire is flagged for deletion. System will not allow you to do so.
Here, red indicator is there.
Yeah, red indicator. If I double click it, you would see the error message. So this is how you cannot actually delete it from the table. Instead, you set an indicator, you set a flag on that saying that do not use it. That is how you will do this one. Right? In case, okay, if it is wrongly set, again, once again you go to this, right? Remove the flag, save it. Okay, remove the flag and then you save it. Now you just go and recreate it once again. quantity of 12, plant is 777C, hit enter. Okay, it's not refreshed and it. Let me rerun the transaction. 51, ME51 and control V, quantity, and then plant is 77C. Now you see, it's allowing. To answer your question, Lakshmi, couple of minutes ago you asked me, purchasing group. I told you this purchasing group will be defaulted from the material master. You see, did I give purchasing group? I did not. So this group has defaulted from the material master. And I also told you user will have an option to overwrite it in case if you want to change. So you can change it like this. Clear? Okay, I'll just go and create this one. Maybe I can use it at that point of time. Right? So this is for the what you call deletion. Like immediate deletion, you can also schedule it. Like what you have seen for the schedule changes, you can schedule deletion also. Means this material shall not be used after next month onwards. You can do so. In that case, you have to specify change schedule for. You have to specify the date. Okay, something like this. 31st June. After that, this material shall not be used. Hit enter. Okay, till such time you can use it. So, if you set this indicator and go with save this material, if somebody tries to use it after 31st, it will give you error. Okay. So this is how you can schedule for deletion, right? So you have seen creation, you have seen changes, you have seen displays, right? And then you have seen these ones, display changes as well. Then MMBE, we will see it later. There is something called MM60 material list. This is a report. Okay, if you want to see all the materials that were created for my plant, you can give the plant here and say hit execute. This will give you all the materials that were created, right? Similarly, okay, based on material group, based on material type, everything you can do it. This is what we call as MM60 material list. There are few more reports available here under environment, right? So this is all about your material master from the end user perspective. Okay, various options which we have seen. You see, change immediately, change schedule, changes becoming active, and then change documents you would have seen, material type change, flag for deletion, schedule for deletion, mass changes, display at current date, right? Stock overview. Stock overview, we will discuss stock overview and stock requirement list. We will see it in inventory management because we are not touching any stocks right now. Okay, list of materials, MM60, right? Plan changes, activate changes, all these things you have seen it. Okay, there is something called match code ID, is renamed as search help. Okay, let me tell you. End of each field, you see this small circular icon. Technically, this is called as match code, right? But match code again is no more available. It is obsolete name, terminology. What we call it as search help. So match code is renamed as search help. New search help introduces material by material category, material by several classes. So if you want to find out a material based on how many options, you can see it here. Material, if you go with this one, this will tell you these are the ways and means with which we can identify a certain material. Material can be identified by the material description, can be identified by the old material number, can be identified the bill of material, can be identified by the CAD system, can be identified by the competitive product given by the competitor. There are lots of options, okay? We will discuss these things when we work with search help in the configurations. Okay, and mass maintenance I have already shown you. Mass maintenance can be done for vendor, material, customer, purchase requisition, purchase order, whatnot. Can be done for many things. As and when we go with different chapters, I will explain you about this one. So this is all about your material master. With this, I am concluding the material master from the end user perspective. Any questions from anybody?
This flag deletion. Excuse me, sir.
Chapman sir.
This is a flag deletion ఉంది కదా. A particular code block చేసి flag deletion అయిన తర్వాత after this is there any control on that particular item in the custody of MRP control or end user?
What do you mean by control, Andy?
Control means flag deletion చేసిన తర్వాత again if you want to open that particular blocked item, is there any restriction directly to open or with the information of MRP controller?
First of all, ఈ MM6 MM16 అవన్నీ కదా ఫ్లాగ్డ్ ఫర్ డెలిషన్ ఒకటి స్కెడ్యూల్డ్ ఫర్ డెలిషన్. ఈ రెండు కూడా ఎండ్ యూజర్కి ఇవ్వరండి. ఇట్ విల్ బి గివెన్ టు ద మాస్టర్ డేటా టీమ్ ఓన్లీ. వాళ్ళు ఎట్లా డిలీట్ చేస్తారు, వాళ్ళు ఎట్లా దీన్ని స్కెడ్యూల్ చేస్తారు అంటే somebody from the purchasing department or somebody from the user department has to say, hey team, look at, we have got more advanced material than this material, so therefore we wanted to restrict all the users to be not to use this material అని వాళ్ళు చెప్తారండి. చెప్పినప్పుడు ఈ వీళ్ళు మాస్టర్ డేటా వాళ్ళు దాన్ని స్కెడ్యూల్ చేస్తారు. ఒకవేళ మళ్ళీ ఎప్పుడో తర్వాత 3 నెలల తర్వాత 4 నెలల తర్వాత కొత్త మెటీరియల్ వాళ్ళు ఇఫ్ దే ఫీల్ లైక్ ఇట్స్ నాట్ బీయింగ్ సో యూస్ఫుల్, అప్పుడు దే హ్యావ్ టు గివ్ అనదర్ రిక్వెస్ట్ టు ద మాస్టర్ డేటా టీమ్ సేయింగ్ దట్ మాకు ఈ కొత్త మెటీరియల్ ఇట్స్ నాట్ వర్కింగ్ యాజ్ పర్ అవర్ ఎక్స్పెక్టేషన్స్, యూ ప్లీజ్ యాక్టివేట్ ద ఓల్డ్ మెటీరియల్, దెన్ దే విల్ యాక్టివేట్ ఇట్. అంతేకాని ఎవరు పడితే వాళ్ళు ఇట్లా చేయడానికి అవకాశం ఉండదండి.
Okay, sir. Some practically we have faced this lab item, carbon tetrachloride, carbon CTC, carbon tetrachloride. There was a ban for one content used in the CTC. It is external policy decision.
Okay.
So we have blocked it and kept it in MRP control custody.
Right.
Later, the user department claimed a number of times to buy that particular item.
Okay.
So if we go, we have received a warning letter from this explosions inspector.
Okay.
So not to use and why did you open the blocked item? I think we have faced so many things.
అవునండి. ఇప్పుడు అంటే వాళ్ళు అప్పుడు ఏం చేస్తారు, మళ్ళీ బ్లాక్ చేస్తారు కదా. బ్లాక్ చేసినప్పుడు రీజన్ కూడా స్పెసిఫై చేయొచ్చు, వై డిడ్ యూ బ్లాక్ ఇట్ అనేది. అఫ్ కోర్స్ ఇక్కడ దీంట్లో లేదు. ఫర్ దట్ యూ హ్యావ్ టు క్రియేట్ యువర్ ఓన్ ఫీల్డ్ సేయింగ్ దట్ దిస్ ఇస్ బ్లాక్ ఫర్ సో అండ్ సో రీజన్. ఇప్పుడు ఇది ఉంది కదా, లెట్ మీ షో యూ.
I have changed the description for that content. But we are procuring this content.
సో ఇక్కడ ఇట్లా ఉంది కదండి. ఇక్కడ ఇన్ కేస్ ఇఫ్ యూ వాంట్ టు స్పెసిఫై ద రీజన్ వీ విల్ యాడ్ వన్ మోర్ ఫీల్డ్ అండి. ఇక్కడ ఏదో కింద పైన ఎక్కడో యాడ్ చేస్తాం అనమాట. యాడ్ చేసి దిస్ ఈస్ బ్లాక్డ్ ఫర్ ఫ్లాగ్డ్ ఫర్ డెలిషన్ ఫర్ సో అండ్ సో రీజన్ అని పెడతాం అనమాట ఇక్కడ.
Okay, sir. And also regarding tires, latest development is tubeless tires. Old the requirement is tire, tube, flap, everything.
Yes.
we're maintaining tubeless tyres.
Correct answer.
Sir, ఎక్కడైనా ట్యూబ్లెస్ టైర్స్ సార్
In India,
లేటెస్ట్ కాదే
లేదండి, ఇంకా మా దగ్గర మేము ట్యూబ్ ఉన్న టైర్లో వాడుకుంటున్నాం సార్.
ఓకే లేటెస్ట్
ఈ ఎండాకాలంలో పంచర్లు అవుతా ఉన్నాయి, మేకులు గుచ్చుకుంటా ఉన్నాయి. సో ఇంకా మేము ట్యూబ్ టైర్లే వాడుతున్నాం సార్. All right, so if you have no questions, I wanted to stop it here for today, and we will not have class tomorrow, so I'll be traveling to my native, so I'll be back by Monday morning around 6-7 o'clock. So we'll have a class at 7. So I'm not sure how did you guys are practicing. I know Sundar Rao Garu is practicing because he has got his own system. The rest of you guys, మీరు ఎలా ప్రాక్టీస్ చేస్తున్నారు? ఫస్ట్ ఆఫ్ ఆల్ ఆర్ యూ ప్రాక్టీసింగ్ ఎట్ ఆల్? ప్రాక్టీస్ చేయకపోతే ఇప్పటి వరకు చేయకపోయినా పర్లేదండి, రేపు మండే నుంచి చేయకపోతే యూ విల్ ఫర్గెట్ ఎవ్రీథింగ్. దే ఆర్ ఆల్ కాన్ఫిగరేషన్స్. మేబీ దీస్ థింగ్స్ యూ వుడ్ బి డూయింగ్ ఇన్ యువర్ డే టు డే లైఫ్. ఐఎమ్ టాకింగ్ అబౌట్ యూ, లక్ష్మి, పవిత్ర అండ్ రాధిక. మీకు కాన్ఫిగరేషన్స్ దేర్ ఈస్ అ కండిషన్ అండి, యాక్సెస్ సారీ చూస్తే నాకు మీకు పే చేయకపోతే నాకు అతను యూజర్ ఐడి పాస్వర్డ్ ఇవ్వడండి. నేను వీడి కోసం ఒకటే తీసుకున్నాను నేను పే చేసి. సో మీరు అందరూ అదే వాడుకుంటా అంటే ఐడి ఇస్తాను, ఐ డోంట్ మైండ్ యూజింగ్ ఇట్. బట్ అదే వాడుకుంటే మీరు మిగతా వాళ్ళందరూ ఐ మీన్ యూ విల్ సీ ద సేమ్ సిస్టమ్, సేమ్ మెటీరియల్స్ అన్నీ అవే కనిపిస్తాయి మీకు. ఐ వాంట్ యూ టు డూ ఇట్ డిఫరెంట్లీ. So I'll forward the user ID and password to Lakshmi today. So in case మీరు వాడుకుంటా అంటే వాడుకోండి, but ideally you should have individual user ID and password. Only then మీరు డిఫరెంట్గా థింక్ చేసి డిఫరెంట్గా చేయగలుగుతారు. అప్పుడు మీకు ఎర్రర్స్ ఎక్కువ వస్తాయి. అండ్ వెన్ యూ కమిట్ ఎ మిస్టేక్ ఓన్లీ దెన్ యూ లెర్న్ ద సబ్జెక్ట్. ఏం అంత స్మూత్గా వెళ్ళిపోతుంది అనుకోండి, యూ డోంట్ లెర్న్.
ఎస్ సార్. సార్ మీకు నేను ఈరోజు ఫీ పే చేశాను, సో మీరు నాకు యాజ్ సూన్ యాజ్ పాసిబుల్ యాక్సెస్ ఇప్పించండి.
సరే అయితే నేను అతనితో మాట్లాడతాను.
అండ్ ఆల్సో ఒకసారి మీరు చెక్ చేసుకోండి మీ అకౌంట్ అండ్ ఇన్ఫార్మ్ బ్యాక్ మీ త్రూ ఈమెయిల్ ఆర్ సంథింగ్.
ఓకే, సో ఎవరో పే చేసినట్లు అకౌంట్ పే 8,000 మీదేనండి
సార్? It is me, sir.
Yes, sir.
8,000 pay చేశారు. I received a message.
ఈరోజు మార్నింగ్ పంపించాను ఆన్లైన్ ట్రాన్స్ఫర్. సో దట్స్ మీ ఓన్లీ సార్.
Okay, so let me check it and I'll check my account once. I just received a message on my phone. So normally ఏంటంటే ఏమన్నా క్రెడిట్ అయినా డెబిట్ అయినా కూడా నాకు ఇమీడియట్లీ మెసేజ్ వస్తుంది ఫోన్లో. I'll check it and then I'll talk to that person, ensure that your IDs will be created for those people who paid it, and also Lakshmi Garethan, and I'll just send you an email. Maybe you can start using it. But I request you all, please practice it. మీరు ప్రాక్టీస్ చేయకపోతే మీ టైం, మీ మనీ, ఎఫర్ట్ అంతా వేస్ట్ అవుతాయండి.
సార్ అండ్ వన్ మోర్ థింగ్, ఇప్పుడు మేము ఆన్లైన్ అకౌంట్ తీసుకుంటే మన సిస్టంలో ఏమైనా రిక్వైర్మెంట్స్, బేసిక్ రిక్వైర్మెంట్స్ ఏముండాలి?
ఏం అక్కర్లేదండి, మీకు చెప్తాను చూడండి ఇక్కడ. ఎందుకంటే ఈ సర్వర్ మీ దగ్గర ఉంటలేదు కదా. మీకు ఈ లాగాన్ ప్యాడ్ తెలుసు కదా, యు నో దిస్ లాగాన్ ప్యాడ్ రైట్?
యా ఎస్ సార్.
మీ సిస్టంలో ఇట్లా లాగాన్ ప్యాడ్ ఉంటే యు గో విత్ న్యూ ఐటమ్, ఇట్లా వెళ్ళండి, ఈ న్యూ ఐటమ్కి వెళ్ళండి రైట్. ఆర్ మేబీ ఐ క్రియేట్ కపుల్ ఆఫ్ స్క్రీన్ షాట్స్ అండ్ గివ్ ఇట్ టు యూ. దెన్ గో విత్, ఇక్కడే మీరు ఎట్లా చేయక్కర్లేదు, గో విత్ నెక్స్ట్. ఇక్కడ డిస్క్రిప్షన్ ఏమి ఇవ్వాలి, అప్లికేషన్ సర్వర్ ఏమి ఇవ్వాలి, సిస్టమ్ నంబర్ ఏమి ఇవ్వాలి, సిస్టమ్ ఐడి ఏమి ఇవ్వాలి, ఈ 4 ఫీల్డ్స్ ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ తను పంపిస్తాడు. ఎవరైతే మనకి యూజర్ అకౌంట్ క్రియేట్ చేస్తాడో తను పంపిస్తాడండి. ఇక్కడ ఈ 4 డీటెయిల్స్ ఇచ్చిన తర్వాత యూ సింప్లీ గో విత్ ఫినిష్. అప్పుడు ఇక్కడ మీకు ఏదైతే డిస్క్రిప్షన్ ఉందో, ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ నాదైతే చూడండి ఇక్కడ, దిస్ ఈస్ ద వన్ విచ్ ఐఎమ్ యూజింగ్, చేంజ్ ఐటమ్. ఇట్లా ఇచ్చుకోవాలి మీకు. మోస్ట్ లైక్లీ ఇదే సిస్టమ్ ఇస్తాడు మీకు. ఐ మైట్ సెండ్ యూ ద స్క్రీన్ షాట్. సో ఈ డీటెయిల్స్ మీరు యాడ్ చేసుకుని యూ గో విత్ ఫినిష్. తర్వాత యూజర్ ఐడి పాస్వర్డ్ మీకు ఇస్తాడు. వన్స్ యూ హ్యావ్ ది ఎలిమెంట్ ఓవర్ హియర్, యూ డబుల్ క్లిక్ ఇట్. ఇక్కడ మీరు పవిత్ర ఐడి అయితే పవిత్ర ఏదో క్రియేట్ చేస్తాడు అండ్ పాస్వర్డ్ ఇస్తాడు. ఏదో వెల్కమ్ అనో లేకపోతే ఇండియా అనో సమ్మరో ఏదో ఇస్తాడు. ఐ సింప్లీ ఫార్వర్డ్ ద మెయిల్ బ్యాక్ టు యూ. సో ఆ ఐడి యూజ్ చేసుకుని మీరు క్రియేట్ చేసుకోవాలి. మీ సిస్టమ్ కాన్ఫిగరేషన్స్ మీకు ఏం అక్కర్లేదు. యూ డోంట్ రిక్వైర్ టు highly configured system. You are accessing SAP server which is owned and hosted in some other place. You are it's like your website మీరు ఎట్లా యాక్సెస్ చేస్తున్నారో దీన్ని కూడా అట్లా యాక్సెస్ చేస్తారు. సో నవేడేస్ నేను P1 P2 సిస్టమ్స్ లేవు, ఈవెన్ P3s కూడా లేవు if I have to say. సో కాబట్టి మీ దగ్గర ఉన్న ఏ సిస్టమ్ అయినా you would be able to access it. ఓకే, మీరు ఎప్పటి వరకు ఉంటారండి ఇంట్లో? ఐ మీన్ టు సే మీరు ఆఫీస్కి ఎప్పుడు వెళ్తారు? సో దట్ ఐ స్టిల్ హ్యావ్ సమ్ మోర్ టైమ్. ఐ విల్ బి ట్రావెలింగ్ అరౌండ్ 4 o'clock. సో అంటిల్ 4 o'clock
4 o'clock వెళ్తాము.
4కి వెళ్తారా? సో నేను 4 వరకు ఉంటానండి. తర్వాత ఐ విల్ బి ట్రావెలింగ్ ఇట్. సో I'll check my account and then direct that person to create IDs, and he will give me probably in about an hour's time. So once I receive the mail, I will forward it to you and follow up with a call. మీరు అప్పుడు ఒకసారి యాక్సెస్ చేసుకుని ఒకసారి చెక్ చేసుకోండి. ఇఫ్ యు ఆర్ కంఫర్టబుల్ డూయింగ్ దట్, నో ప్రాబ్లం. కంఫర్టబుల్ కాకపోతే యూ ప్లీజ్ లెట్ మీ నో అండ్ ఐ హెల్ప్ యూ.
సార్ కానీ మాకు అది లాగాన్, ఎందుకంటే ఇది పర్సనల్ ల్యాప్టాప్స్ కదా సార్, మాకు లాగాన్ అది స్క్రీన్ లేదు. దానికి ఇప్పుడు ఎలా
లాగాన్ స్క్రీన్ లేదా? ఎందుకంటే మీకు లాగాన్ ప్యాడ్ ఉంటుంది కదా మీ సిస్టంలో.
అంటే మేము ల్యాప్టాప్స్ మీద వర్క్ చేయం సార్, డెస్క్టాప్స్, ఆఫీస్ డెస్క్టాప్స్ మీద ఉంటుంది. ఇది నా పర్సనల్ ల్యాప్టాప్ కదా సార్.
దీంట్లో లేదా మీకు లాగాన్ ప్యాడ్ లేదా?
లేదు సార్.
అయితే మీరు డౌన్లోడ్ చేసుకోవాలి గూగుల్ నుంచి. లెట్ మీ సీ ఇట్. నా దగ్గర ఇంతకుముందు ఒకసారి ఎవరు వెంకటరెడ్డి పంపించారు. ఓకే, మీరు డౌన్లోడ్ చేసుకోగలిగితే ఓకే అండి, లేకపోతే ఐ విల్ గివ్ యూ అ లింక్. నేను డౌన్లోడ్ చేసింది నా దగ్గర లేదు, బట్ ఐ విల్ తీసుకుంటాను. లెట్ మీ చెక్ ఇట్ అండి. ఇఫ్ ఐ హ్యావ్ ఇట్ I'll give it to you. I'll stop the recording, so this is not required for you.